Hi, my name's Richard. In my full-time job, I run a creative agency, and in my spare time, I try to practice mindfulness and also teach it. I started practicing in 2015 as a way of trying to escape the thinking and the stresses and strains of daily life that I found to no longer be helpful. Mindfulness is a way in which we can come back to ourselves, in which we can find a space to come back to the here and the now, a way in which we can come back to an island of being in a sea of doing, and to escape some of the stresses and strains and busyness and anxiety that we can sometimes experience when we're bombarded with information. And in this time in particular, when the world seems to be moving at a faster rate, when there's so much happening and so much thinking, mindfulness offers an opportunity for us to come back to ourselves, just to slow things down a bit, just to take some time to choose how we want to react and go from automatic to conscious. So I'm so excited that Mapilim have invited me to share some of this wisdom with you in the hope that it will give you an opportunity to just choose how you're responding rather than letting the events choose how they treat you. So let's talk about a basic mindfulness practice. What is it and how can it help? Mindfulness helps us to create an island of being in a sea of doing. It helps us just to pause, slow down, and see the process of thinking as it's happening within our head in the moment. It doesn't necessarily offer instant results, but over time, over doing it over and over again, it's something that can offer some really great benefits. So what we're going to do today is a simple awareness of breathing meditation. And I say simple and not easy, because the instructions might be simple, but it can take a bit of time for you to get used to how this works and how it can help you in your life. So why breathing, and what does that mean? What are we doing in mindfulness? Mindfulness means that we're choosing to be more aware in the present moment. And I use that word choosing really intentionally. We're choosing something to anchor our consciousness to and to come back to that over and over again. And in doing so, we'll get to see how our mind works. We'll get to see some of that thinking and thoughts that are coming in over and over again. And without trying to change it, without trying to do anything about it, we'll just learn a bit more about the nature of our mind. So here's how it goes. When we're coming to meditate, we want to find a relatively quiet space in a sometimes otherwise noisy world. And hopefully it's a place that's safe and secure, somewhere that you're familiar with, where you can potentially lock the door and know that you're going to be safe and sound. We want to be in a seated position. Now, you can do it lying down if you'd like to, but sometimes when we lie down and we start breathing deeply, it means we fall asleep, and that's okay as well. But our aim in this meditation is to try to be as aware as possible. So a seated position, much like I'm doing now, and in a comfortable way that's good for your body. So get as many cushions as you want, depending on what your body needs. And one of the things I like to do is just to make sure that my hips are ever so slightly more raised than my knees. And what does that mean? It means it just relieves a tiny bit of pressure from certain joints that can be a bit achy. And the position is much like I'm sitting now, with our back not fully erect as if we're a soldier, but what we like to call dignified. So slightly straighter than usual, a strong back, a soft belly, and allowing our head just to find its place on our neck, aligned with our spine. And I'll invite you in a moment to close your eyes, if that works for you. And if not, just to find a space on the floor in front of you that you can gaze down, so we can just start to disconnect from the world around us and reconnect to ourselves. So inviting you now to find that position that we spoke about, to go and grab some cushions if that makes sense for you, and to come back to this position of seated in a dignified way. And inviting you to close your eyes as well. And let's just start by becoming aware of our body, bringing our attention inwards, and making the conscious choice to leave what has been up until this moment, the day that's been, the busyness, the thinking, the stresses, the strains, and the worries, to leave them behind, as if you'd walked into this moment with hands full of suitcases that were full of thoughts, and just placing those suitcases on the ground and letting go, and making the conscious choice to come into this moment, into the here and now. And placing your attention all the way down to the ground and feeling all the spaces where your body is touching the ground. And really bringing a sense of awareness to the feet, to the ankles, to the thighs. And now allowing that awareness to travel up into the belly, to the chest, to the shoulders, the arms, feeling your hands wherever they're resting, to the neck, to the face, to the forehead, all the way to the top of our head. And now feeling that sense of awareness trickle down like a waterfall over our entire body until we can hold our full body in awareness in this moment. And now, inviting you to become aware of the fact that you're breathing. Not changing your breath, not breathing deeper or faster or slower, but just becoming aware of this miracle that is breathing. And noticing how you're not breathing, but rather your body is breathing automatically, like it has done since the moment you were born, and in every moment, including this moment. And just becoming aware each time you breathe in and each time you breathe out. Maybe saying a word in your head to acknowledge it. In, out, in, out. Can you become even more curious about your breath? Can you notice the temperature? Is it warm or cool as it enters in and leaves your body? Is it the same temperature? Is it different? Is it cool when it goes in or warm, and vice versa? Mindfulness is an exercise in curiosity. Can you become curious about your breath in a way that you've never done before? Where do you feel your breath the most? Is it your nose? Your mouth? Is it in your throat? Your chest? Down in your belly? Wherever that place is, I invite you to bring your attention all the way to that place, that physical sensation of breathing, and just to be with it for a few moments. And if your mind has taken you on a little journey off somewhere else, to the past, to the future, something you forgot to do, something you need to do, just gently and kindly bringing your attention back to the breath. making a conscious choice. It's okay that your mind took you on a journey. It's what it does. And we're just taking it by the hand and bringing it back to the breath. So come back to that place that you are feeling the breath physically the most, and just be in that physical sensation. Now inviting you to go on a journey with your breath. Can you follow it all the way from the moment it comes into your body, the journey that it takes all the way down into your lungs and into your belly, before making its return journey all the way up and out? See if you can be with the breath for that entire cycle, all the way in, all the way down, and then all the way out again for a few breaths. And when your breath reaches its final resting place down at the bottom, wherever that is for you, does it return immediately? Is it instant? Or can you notice that there might be a slight pause, even the slightest pause? Let's get even more curious. As you follow your breath all the way down, just noticing. Is there a gap? And then following it all the way out again. And if again your mind has taken you off and you weren't with your breath, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. Gently, kindly bring your consciousness and your mind back to the breath, and even say, right now, we're breathing, we're not thinking. In a moment, we'll bring this short practice to a close, but before rushing to open your eyes, inviting you to spend a few moments in stillness and to find some words that work for you to say thank you to yourself. It's not something we do often. We might say it to other people, but not always to ourselves. And if thank you doesn't work, maybe there are other words like congratulations or well done or good on you, for just taking a few moments of peace and calm and tranquility, and making the choice to step out of the automatic and into the conscious. Those choices empower us to live a better life. Sometimes they might be subtle, sometimes they might be profound, but each one of them offers the opportunity for you to offer yourself a tiny bit of goodness and care and self-love in an otherwise hectic world. So just finding those words, whatever they are, saying them to yourself, and if you'd like to, maybe even smiling. And making the decision not to just leave this as it was and to carry on with your life like it was before, but to take something from these few minutes that we've spent here in silence. To take something with you, a learning, whatever it is, setting that intention to take something with you. And coming back now to feeling the fullness of your body and perhaps starting ever so slightly to moving your fingers, wiggling your toes, just moving your body ever so slightly. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, opening your eyes and coming back to this moment.